What we saw about control was that if we feel that other people's response is because of the way we have reacted to them, or other people are changing because of what we are saying to them, and we start feeling we are controlling them. And similarly, the other side starts feeling that they're doing what they're doing because of them or for them, then they feel controlled. So both the people are getting weaker. The one who feels is controlling is also experiencing a false sense of power.
And also fear.
And fear of losing that false power. And the one who feels is being controlled is of course feeling like a victim and a very, very powerless person because I have no choice and I'm living my life according to
And he starts believing that I can't do anything.
Yeah, true. So what will happen is that the first step, if I start creating this kind of a feeling, the first emotion that will happen will be resistance towards the person. The harmony. And we saw a simple example that if my child doesn't do things the same way as he was doing before or is not listening to everything that I'm saying, just we have to pause and check, how do I start feeling internally? And this can apply to anybody, a team member, a spouse, a friend, a child. If they're not doing now what I'm saying, how do I start feeling inside and what are the kind of thoughts that I start creating? And if the thoughts are anything which is a little uncomfortable, like, why are they doing this? Why aren't they listening to me? Can't they understand it's for their good? They shouldn't be doing their things this way. This is resistance. It's uncomfortable energy.
Resistance from the person who is controlling or being controlled?
Resistance towards the person whom we thought we were controlling. And now suddenly they're not in our control. It's the parents' resistance.
This is also a little bit of not liking that person.
It is actually, yeah, that is resistance.
Because he's not listening to me and I don't know why he wants to be a...
Beautiful.
why he's his own enemy.
Yeah.
I have so much of experience. Why doesn't he listen to me and take my experience?
But nobody would be ready to accept that they're actually not loving their people at that time. Because we're really not loving at that time. Because love means acceptance. But at that time, we are in the mode of resistance. So we are not loving, we are rejecting them. But it's very hard for us to accept that we are actually not loving our children or parents or spouse at that time. So we have to be very careful. Is there any kind of a resistance in my mind towards the other person? And resistance can be seen very, very clearly. We think it's natural to feel like this. But actually, if we check in a very subtle way, the resistance is not because of what the other person has done or what's happening around, but the resistance happens because of how I start thinking in response to what they have done, becoming very judgmental. Let's say, for example, if we're sitting in a gathering or if we're sitting in a program and people are asked to switch off their mobile phones in the beginning. And this is a very common thing, a very simple one, because if we understand it at a simpler level, we'll see it at a deeper level. So we say, please put your phones on silent. Okay. And now suddenly in the middle of it, there will be a ringtone. The phone rings. Now, my discomfort is not because of the ringtone, but my discomfort gets created because of what I start thinking. Not even about the ringtone, but because I start thinking about the person who did not switch off the phone.
Not only the person, these days, people
yeah,
today's
lovely.
Society, today's generation.
True.
And I don't know why, and he will stop listening to enjoying the program he's watching.
Exactly. Now let's just separate this. It was the ringtone. The ringtone doesn't cause the discomfort. This really has to be understood because everybody would say, oh, I felt like that because of the phone. It was not because of the phone. It is of the thoughts that I started creating after I listened to that phone ringing. Somebody else could have said, oh, it's okay, they must have forgotten.
Even I forget so many times.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
that person will not feel any kind of discomfort internally, even though the phone is still ringing. So resistance means my thoughts of being very judgmental about the other person, which I create, they cause the discomfort. And once I start creating them, they radiate to the other person. The other person also starts creating similar thoughts, and there is conflict. So the seed of the conflict is not because of what the other person has done.
This person is sitting in the first row, and on the 10th somebody else's ringtone happens. And how can the conflict start when they're so far?
Here, conflict is here. Conflict is never here. There is no conflict.
So you mean to say conflict between two thoughts?
Yeah, see, like suppose I'm sitting here and you're sitting there, and now suddenly I start becoming judgmental about you, and I start creating thoughts based on my judgment about you, not about what you have done, my judgment about you. Why are they speaking like this? Why are they behaving like this? Is this the way to be saying this? Is this the way they should have done it? I'm sure it could have happened in a better way. They just don't know the right way to do it. I've started the conflict. This is energy of resistance. It will radiate to you, and very soon you're going to be creating similar thoughts. And now two souls who had very nice, loveful, accepting energy flowing between them have started creating conflict. Much later will the conflict come out in words
After the
and
program
behavior.
is over, when they meet each other, they might start
Any
fighting.
relationship also. Any relationship. Any
Sister,
situation.
One question. I was talking about the first row and the 10th row. Now, this man is getting angry. And as you know, once you get angry, it takes a little time for a few people to settle down. When he's angry because of that guy's ringtone, he might disturb the next person or the person on the left without even speaking.
Yes.
His thoughts can, the whole atmosphere.
Because it's happening here.
So it's not, you cannot say it's my problem. So you're disturbing others too. You're
But most
affecting.
important, you're disturbing yourself. And like you said, he's angry about the ringtone. He's not angry about the ringtone. He's angry because that person did not obey the instruction of switching off the mobile. That
And
has to be
probably
separated.
This is not his instruction.
Yeah. But he's not, see, it's like, how come they don't know what's the right way to do things?
How can be they're so dumb,
They are indisciplined. Look at the
careless?
people. All these are thoughts of resistance. And these are my thoughts, and they're causing discomfort to me.
Oh, so he is not obeying my thought.
Yes.
I think and I feel and I want everybody to be very perfect.
Perfect.
So and very, disciplined.
Right.
And in this country has no discipline.
Yes. Now, somebody else for whom it's not such a big thing if a mobile rings. If that's their thought, that it's okay if a mobile rings, even mine rings once in a while. And then if they hear somebody else's phone ringing, they don't feel that somebody has done anything wrong. It's easier for them to accept that. Now, this is something which we have to start working in every relationship. It's like simple. If somebody is living near the airport, if somebody is living near the railway station, they're hearing noise the entire day, even noise when they are sleeping, but they don't have problem. They don't get
They'll have problem when there's no train passing.
very true, very true. Because what have they accepted?
They're in that comfort
zone. It's all about what we are ready to accept and what we are not ready to accept. For somebody else to go and stay at their place, they probably not be able to sleep the entire night. But for these people, it's nothing. It's just nothing because their mind has accepted that noise. Let's look at everyone's behavior around us and let's see whether we can start accepting them. Move. Let's just shift from resistance to acceptance, and which means I and you have a different point of view.
And this acceptance will further go to influence.
Yes, absolutely.
So we started
With control, created resistance.
instead of controlling.
Yes.
Influence.
Yeah, but control led to resistance. From resistance, we'll shift to acceptance. And when we start accepting each other, influence will happen automatically. Because what will happen in acceptance is, we need to see it with everybody actually now, that each one of us has a different point of view, has a different opinion. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. We're just different. And now, most important is I accept the difference. Even if their view is a little less accurate than mine, I'm not being judgmental about it. I accept they're different. Let's say you're very sincere, I'm not. You're very punctual, I'm not. Now, one is to keep on creating those resisting thoughts every time I'm not as sincere as you, not as neat and clean as you, not as accurate as you, not as punctual as you, and one is accept. Each one is
How can you
different.
come out like this with a shirt not ironed?
Yeah.
How can you come without combing your hair?
Yes.
You know,
One is to say something to somebody, you can do this like this. But the other is, how can you do this? This is not right. This is not the way to be.
But this is not control, this is criticism.
Yeah, this is resistance internally. It's still not come out in words. It's not come out in words.
So
A
how
lot
does
is
one-
just happening inside.
Okay, agreed. Now, how does one influence?
When we accept people and we stop judging them, then our energy becomes very harmonious. Now, what is happening in resistance is conflict, stress, anger, fear. In resistance or in controlling, what is the thought that gets created? You must listen to me. And most important, you must please me. Very, very clear.
There's a lot of difference between listen to me and please me.
Yeah, because your listening to me pleases me. So you must do it. Very subtle. This is a way of controlling the other people. So the intention is very selfish. It's purely for my happiness.
No.
Absolutely. You have to check the difference. If you see the difference, that's why if they don't listen, I get disturbed. Otherwise, I wouldn't get disturbed.
If they don't listen and if they fail and in whatever they wanted to do, then I'll say, I told you so. You didn't listen to me.
Exactly. So
So
that
this is
means
not
it's
being selfish.
this is being selfish because again we are trying to tell them next time better remember to listen to me.
Next time I can be wrong.
But when did we ever feel that we were wrong? We are trying to tell them you didn't listen to me, so you failed. So now you made this mistake once. Next time, please remember.
But I'm
you have to
saying that
listen to me.
next time when they listen to me and they fail, that means I fail too.
Yeah, but
So
at
it
that
can happen
time,
both ways.
at that time, we will have another excuse to give because no one ever accepts that what we did was wrong. Nobody
But I still
ever.
do not understand that if I am telling somebody something, okay, son or daughter or friend, do this, and believe me, I have 35 years of experience in this, do this. And how can it be selfish?
It is only selfish when their doing it creates your happiness. Then it's selfish.